In this video, we will learn how to do a flowchart in Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to first draw a rectangle, for a text box. And so I'm just going to go over here to the rectangle tool, click and hold. And if you don't see two columns here, go up to Window, and then click Toolbars, and then click Advanced. Also, you want to have the Control toolbar up here. You go to Window and click on Control, and you should see the Control toolbar. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the rectangle. I'm going to click and hold. I'm going to click on the rounded rectangle, just for this case. And there's varieties of different text boxes you can make. But here, I'm just going to click on the rounded rectangle. I'm going to click and drag and do something like that. Move over to the selection tool, and let's just center it. So I'm going to click center, and that'll center it over the entire page. I'm going to do no fill. And then I'm gonna do, let's just do this red right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna make the text. So I'm gonna click on the text box. I am not, so this little T right here, that's gonna create a text. I'm not going to click on this rectangle. If I were to do that, it would convert this rectangle into a text box, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna go just below it, and I'm just gonna draw just a rectangle, something like that. And this is a flow chart, so I'm going to say the lamp doesn't work. Okay. And I want to center this text, and then I want to center it vertically as well. So center. I'm going to make this a little, let's increase the text size. So I'm going to click on this, and you should see that's quite annoying. It doesn't have the text size. I'm gonna have to click on character and click the point size, and then let's just increase it to 18. I'm gonna drag this over the top. So you want the text right here, this text box, to be a little smaller than the entire size of the rectangle. So something just like that. So that way you can click on just the rectangle or click on the text itself. But you also want this text box to be in the center of this rectangle. So I'm going to select both of these objects. So you can see the text box is selected, and then also the rectangle. And I'm going to go up here to the top. If you have this control toolbar, if you don't, again, you click on Window and click on Control. Go over here to center align this way and center align this way. This will be center align horizontal, and this will be center align vertical. And because your text is centered within this text box, the text will also be centered. And you created an area type text, as opposed to just clicking on the screen. You actually clicked and dragged to create a text box. That will wrap the text just like this. See, if I were to just click on the screen just like I did, and I typed in the lamp doesn't work, this will not wrap the text. So you see it extends beyond, and I don't want to do that. So I created an area type text. And the next thing I want to do is I want to give this a little bit of a fancier appearance. You don't have to do this, but it's kind of nice. So I'm going to go up to Effect, go to 3D and Materials, and click Inflate. So this will inflate the text, this little box. Now, you can play around with the settings as much as you want. Maybe decrease the volume a little bit, something like that. You can, there's a million things you can do with this. Change the lighting to, you can make the ambient light a little brighter. See, that softens up that lighter edge. You can make this incredibly soft, and that doesn't seem to be doing anything. Increase the intensity. There's so much things you can do. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time. This looks fine, so we're just going to go with that. Okay, Now the next thing, so the lamp doesn't work, and then now we're going to create our decision tree. So I'm just going to drag this down. I'm holding the Alt key. Let me repeat that. So I'm going to select both of these objects. First, why don't I group them? So Control G, I'm going to group this object. I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to hold the Alt key, and you should see a little triangle that pops up on the bottom of the cursor. And then I'm going to click with my left mouse button, and then I'm going to drag downward, and then I'm going to release on my mouse, and then release on the Alt key. So that copies that. Now I'm going to click on this. I'm going to double click on it, so I'm inside this group, and then click again on this back rectangle. And then I'm going to switch it to green, just to change the color up a bit. Okay, these should be centered. If they're not, like say you accidentally put it like this, just highlight both or select both of these objects, and then click again on this object. This will make this a key object. In other words, it's because this is all blue now, this object down here will align to the red object. If I were to click over here, the red object would align to the green object, which would be a bad situation here because it would misalign this whole artwork, and I don't want to do that. So I want to click on this one here so that this is highlighted. So whenever I click center, it lines the green up with the red. Okay, now I want to just draw a simple arrow. This is a flow chart, so things should flow just like that. So you should have little arrows indicating the direction of information flow. So I'm going to thicken it up to 2 points right there. So it's 2 points thick. I'm going to click the stroke and then go down to the arrow key and then click that. There's a whole lot of options of arrows. Feel free to choose whatever you want. Okay, so now I'm going to first create our first question. So the lamp doesn't work, and then is it plugged in? Question mark. Okay, so now it's going to be a yes or no. So I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to draw my decision, yes or no. So I'm going to use my pen tool. I'm going to click up, hold the shift key so that it stays vertical. Click over here. Click over here, and then click down so that it aligns with this. Now, it looks like a rectangle, but that's just because it has a fill. The reason why it has a fill as opposed to just a line is because I just recently clicked on a text box, so it's going to try to copy that appearance. We don't want a fill. We want it to look like a line. So you see, starts here and ends here. Now I'm going to create 2 points, match the thickness of this line. And then I want to create arrows on both sides. I'm going to go to stroke, do the same arrows. Okay. I want a little bit more height, so I'm going to click on the direct selection tool. So the selection tool selects on objects, but the direct selection tool, you can actually select the individual anchors of the object. So in this case, I do not have these points selected. I have these points selected up here at the top. So you see I'm selecting just the top 2 points. Then I can click up on my keyboard and it moves just those 2 points up, and it does not move the bottom points. So that's what I want right there. And let's create a line so that we're perfectly aligned here. So I'm going to see that little magenta guide that tells me I'm in the center of this rectangle. And then if I go down, you'll see an intersect button. That means I'm on the center and right on the edge of this rectangle. And I'm going to drag it down all the way till I see another intersect button, and I see that vertical line, that vertical magenta line, and I release. So now I have these connected. Now I could keep this line square. That's perfectly fine. That would be great. But I want to add a little bit of a curve to it, just to show you that option. So I'm going to click on this line here. Let's center it on this rectangle here. So I'm going to hold shift and select those. I'm going to click again so that this doesn't move. Only these arrows move. And then click center. Okay. Okay, so now let's add that curve. So I'm going to click on this line, go up to Effect, go down to Stylize, and go down to Round Corners. And then I'm just going to click OK. And for some reason it doesn't do an appearance. I don't know why, but I'm just going to click OK. So it has a little rounded edge. I don't know, it's kind of nice. Okay, so let's do the yes or a no. So I'm just going to drag, I'm going to create another text box. I'm going to start over here to this point, and I'm going to go all the way down to this line. And then I'm going to type in yes. Or, you know what, let's do no, so it's not plugged in. Then I'm going to drag this down so that it matches with the bottom line. And then I'm going to copy, hold Alt, and then drag it over here and type in yes. Okay. So the first decision point. Now I'm just going to copy this rectangle. It looks great, so I might as well just keep using it. And then until you see that intersect of those two lines and release. And then I'm keeping the Alt key pressed down. I'm dragging it again, and then doing the same thing over here. So now I have my two decisions. If it is not plugged in, then of course the very simple answer solution is plug it in, of course. If it is plugged in, you're just going to click over here and you can say, is the bulb burned out? So here's again the advantage of having a text area is it'll wrap that text. It's not always best to have a text area, but in this case it works kind of nice. So everything is still centered. I can add text to it. It's still centered. I don't have to realign things. It'll keep on adjusting it accordingly. So a lot of times with Illustrator you can save yourself some time by knowing some of the tricks of the trade. So I'm holding the Alt key to zoom out. And we're going to let's just copy this whole thing and drag it down. And it looks like we're exceeding the edge, and we'll fix that later, but right now let's just keep on going. Is the bulb burned out? No, it's not. So that's the clue to repair the lamp. And I'm not going to pretend like I just created this out of thin air. I looked on Google and this was one of the flowcharts. I'm just showing you kind of how to do it in Illustrator. So, okay. And is the bulb burned out? Yes, it's burned out. Of course, you're going to replace the bulb. Okay, now we've got the whole thing misaligned here, so I'm just going to highlight the whole thing, or select the whole thing, Control Group. So sometimes you can temporarily create a group and then ungroup it later. So now but you have to have it as a single item. So I created a group so that it becomes one item that I can then align to the artwork, just like that. See how it aligned everything? Everything looks good. You can also resize it. So if you need to resize it, click the S button on your keyboard and press Enter. So I typed in S. As the objects were selected, I type in S. And this little scale menu came, well, I typed in S and then I pressed Enter, and this little scale menu popped up. Go down to Options, and you see Scale Corners and Scale Stroke and Effects. Be sure that these are clicked, okay? And then click OK. Click the full selection tool, and then hold the Shift key and drag it down. And what that scale, strokes, and effects means that these lines become smaller as you shrink the artwork down. Okay, Control Z to make it big. If you didn't do that, so S, Enter, and I'm going to unclick that. Then whenever I select everything and I hold Shift and I drag it down, so you see what happens? all the arrows go crazy, these really thick lines, all that happen. And see these curves, these are now more like ovals. So you need to, so you want all of that to scale according to your artwork. So be sure you type S, enter, and have the scale corners and scale strokes and effects, and click OK. There are times when you want to scale things and scale the strokes and effects, and times when you don't want to scale strokes and effects. If you're making small changes, like if you're only reducing it by 10%, then I would not scale the stroke and effects. Anyways, okay, so this is just a nice flow chart. There, again, you can click, just ungroup it, right click and click ungroup. You can click on, just double click on this and change, the color of these. You can also use the direct selection tool and just click directly on that object. And then you can change it to pink or purple or, whatever color you want. Let's go back to green. You can also just create a, maybe you want something square or have sharper edges. So like make this yellow filled and have a black outline. That works too. Maybe you want something a little fancier, and let's bring over a text box. I'm just going to click on it, Control C. So I just double clicked until I selected the text box, and then in Control V. Again, what I would do is I would drag it to the edges. So something like this. Okay. And you can maybe make it a little more fancy. Let's go to the linear shade, something like that. The default would be black and white. Let's double click on this, and I don't know, let's make it orange. Put it at a 45-degree angle. And then maybe you want the border to also have a gradient, so you can put a linear gradient. What I recommend is to make it the same angle as the fill, but flip it. So something like that. So that kind of gives a nice little appearance. You can do that, or you can just not have a. You can have it as a black border. That works too. For instance, drag it down. Click on this, and you can just make it orange. That works too, and maybe a little thinner. Anyways, there are a whole lot of options to do. Don't go crazy on the gradient. Don't make it super shiny, and because then it's hard to read the text. But that is how you draw a flow chart in Adobe Illustrator.